Not everyone who smiles at you wants you safe. Some people want you gone, completely. And the most terrifying truth? They're not the monsters hiding in alleys. They're the ones who laugh at your jokes. Ask how you're feeling, and remember your coffee order. They show up when you least expect it, in the shadows of your daily life, watching, lurking, gathering every secret, piece by piece, until they own a blueprint of who you are. Have you ever felt it? That silent alarm in your chest? That sense that someone's kindness is wrapped around a dagger? Maybe you told yourself you were being dramatic, that it was just paranoia. But here's the truth. Sometimes your fear isn't irrational. It's your instincts screaming to protect you. Because the deadliest predators aren't the ones who rage loudly. They're the ones who move like shadows, polite, silent, deliberate, watching you, waiting for the perfect moment when your guard drops to strike. This isn't about fear, it's about survival. And if someone pops into your mind as you hear these words, don't ignore it. I'm not here to make you afraid of people. I'm here to help you see, because the truth is, the people who want you gone don't shout it from rooftops. They don't glare at you across crowded rooms. They move quietly, hidden behind smiles, lurking at the edges of your life. Sometimes they're strangers. Sometimes they're the ones who know your secrets best. And in a world driven by technology, where cameras watch us and data reveals our every move, their camouflage has become more perfect, more silent, more deliberate. This isn't about fear, it's about clarity. It's about knowing how to recognize patterns before they become traps. Because Stoicism teaches us that vigilance is not paranoia, it's wisdom. And sometimes your instincts know the truth long before your mind dares to admit it. Today, I'll help you listen to that inner voice and see the shadow for what they truly are. There's something I want you to understand. The people who truly want you gone don't announce themselves with anger or loud threats. They operate in the shadows. They study you like a blueprint. They know when you wake up, where you go, who you trust, and while the world scrolls and swipes, they quietly gather the pieces of your life until they see your entire map. These people, they're not just haters, they're architects of quiet destruction. One watches from afar, tracking your patterns with the precision of reconnaissance. Another weaves whispers so subtle, you start doubting your own reputation. A third slips into your world as a friend, soft-spoken, comforting, only to dig deeper into your secrets. There's one who tests how much darkness you'll tolerate, pushing jokes, pushing boundaries, until laughter becomes threat. And then, there's the most dangerous of all, the one who waits, patient, smiling, biding time, until the moment when your guard finally drops. Have you noticed someone who always seems to appear just when your defenses are lowest? Someone who knows more than they should, or cares a little too quickly, or disappears the moment you stop sharing your wounds. Because predators, they don't always look like enemies. Sometimes they look like friends, or shadows, hiding right beside you. If a name has been flashing in your mind while I speak, don't brush it away. Trust your instincts. And remember, vigilance is not paranoia, it's wisdom. Let's start with the first sign, the silent observer, the one who doesn't just look at you, but studies you. He isn't driven by random curiosity. He's driven by calculation. He's the predator who lurks at the edges of your life, camouflaged in politeness or in the quiet anonymity of the crowd. He doesn't shout, he watches, taking notes in his mind, memorizing your patterns, storing fragments of your world, like a meticulous blueprint. And in this modern age, he doesn't always have to stand behind you in a grocery aisle to track your movements. Sometimes, all he needs is your social media feed, or the location tags you leave behind, or the casual glimpses you share online of your favorite coffee shop, your gym, your morning routine. Have you ever noticed how people online seem to know where you'll be even before you do? How someone coincidentally appears in places you've just posted about? Or how a stranger suddenly knows your dog's name? Or the color of your car? Or your favorite running route? Is it truly coincidence? Or is it reconnaissance? The silent observer knows how to appear harmless. He might smile politely, offer casual small talk, even pretend to be a fan or a friend. But the truth is, he's collecting data. And while you scroll through life, he's connecting dots, building the perfect map of how to approach you or how to strike when the moment is right. Because to the silent observer, every fragment matters. A glance, a comment, a like. Each piece becomes part of a blueprint, revealing who you are and where you're most vulnerable. Let me tell you about Emma, a young woman, energetic, working in marketing. She loves sharing moments of her life online. Her morning runs, her coffee stops, snapshots of sunsets from her favorite park. One day, she noticed the same man at the coffee shop she visited every Tuesday. He smiled, seemed polite, kept his distance. A week later, she saw him jogging in her usual park route. Then again, at the grocery store she'd just switched to. At first, she thought it was coincidence, until she posted a picture in a new cafe, and 30 minutes later, he walked in, acting surprised, pretending it was chance. That was when Emma's instincts screamed. She started noticing how he always lingered, never crossing boundaries overtly, but always close enough to watch and listen. She remembered small details, how he laughed a little too quickly, how his eyes flickered when she mentioned her routines. When she stopped posting for 2 weeks, he vanished. No messages, no sightings. The moment she posted again, he reappeared at that same cafe. That's when she knew it wasn't coincidence. It was reconnaissance. It was the silent war that predators wage without ever raising their voice. And here's the chilling truth. The silent observer might not be a man you see in person. He could be a faceless account online, liking every photo, sending subtle messages, or simply watching, recording your habits. Sometimes, he doesn't even reach out. He just builds a file on you, waiting for a moment when he can use your own life as the perfect trap. The silent observer thrives on one truth, that most people doubt their own discomfort. We tell ourselves, I'm being paranoid. It's probably nothing. I'm just imagining things. And that's exactly what he's counting on. Stoicism teaches us that vigilance is not fear. It's clarity. It's seeing the pattern before it becomes the snare. Because clarity lets you act without panic. It lets you say, who keeps showing up where they shouldn't be? Who knows things you never shared? And why do they always seem one step ahead? These aren't random shadows. Sometimes they're predators, mapping you like territory. And your instincts are not paranoia, they're insight. Remember this, vigilance is not fear, it's wisdom. Now let's talk about the second sign, the digital saboteur. He's not the gossip in your office or the neighbor whispering over fences. He's far more sophisticated and far more invisible. Because in this digital age, reputation isn't shattered only by whispered conversations, it's assassinated with algorithms. The digital saboteur doesn't merely spread rumors, he manufactures reality. He builds illusions so convincing that even you might start doubting your own story. He doesn't just tell lies, he programs them into your identity. Imagine waking up one morning and discovering a video spreading online, showing you screaming hateful slurs or confessing to crimes you've never committed. Your voice perfect, your face perfectly rendered, but you have no memory of saying those words. It's a deep fake, designed to look real, down to every flicker of your eyelid. Your colleagues watch it, your family watches it, clients vanish, friends hesitate, pulling away, unsure. You try to explain, you show evidence, but the stain remains, like a shadow, impossible to scrub away. That is the cruelty of digital sabotage. Let me tell you a story about Alex, a cybersecurity consultant who spent years teaching people how to protect their data. One morning, a video surfaced online. It showed Alex in a hotel room, exchanging confidential information for cash. The clip was precise, well-lit, captured from multiple angles. The internet exploded. Blogs published headlines. Cybersecurity guru turned spy. Industry insiders whispered, "Did you hear about Alex?" Within days, his company suspended him. Contracts were canceled. Invitations to conferences disappeared. Alex's world crumbled. But here's the truth. Alex had never been in that hotel room. The video was a deep fake, a digital blueprint of his face and voice, stitched together by someone who wanted him erased. His career almost vanished in days. Even after proving the video was fake, some people still looked at him with quiet suspicion. Because once a web of lies is spun, it leaves residue, even when the truth comes out. The digital saboteur knows this. He understands that humans are wired to believe what they see, even if what they see is an illusion. And sometimes, he doesn't even need a deep fake. All he needs is enough whispers at precisely the right moments to fracture your reality. A comment here, a rumor there, until people start questioning your loyalty, your character, even your sanity. Think about this. Is it coincidence when coworkers suddenly stop inviting you to meetings? Or when clients become strangely cold after someone just mentioned you might not be trustworthy? Or when friends begin hesitating, unsure, as if they've heard something, but won't say what? That's not paranoia. That's the saboteur, pulling invisible strings, weaving a web of doubt. And the most dangerous part? He often poses as a concerned friend. The one who says, "I just thought you should know. People are talking." Or the one who sends you screenshots, pretending to be your ally while feeding the chaos. In times like these, digital sabotage doesn't require knives or guns. It requires keyboards and an audience, and the shadows have never been more crowded. Stoicism teaches us that panic feeds chaos, that when you react from fear, you often confirm the lie, simply by appearing unstable. The Stoic approach is different. Document everything. Save emails, screenshots, dates, names. Stay grounded in facts, because the truth is your shield, and your integrity is your sword. Remember what Marcus Aurelius said: "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." The obstacle is not the rumor itself, it's how you choose to respond. So ask yourself, who seems to care a little too much about what others say about you? Who always has your back, but leaves trails of confusion wherever they go? Who feels oddly invested in whispering your name when you're not around? Because in this digital age, sabotage doesn't require a knife. It requires patience, a web of lies, and shadows that move unseen. Remember this: vigilance is not fear, it's wisdom. Now let's talk about the third sign, the false friend facade. Of all the predators who might wish you gone, this one cuts the deepest, because betrayal wrapped in friendship doesn't just steal your trust, it steals your peace. The false friend is the one who appears when your world is unraveling. They offer comfort, sympathy, a listening ear, and sometimes they even offer solutions. They echo your words, mirror your emotions, make you feel seen, as if someone finally understands the chaos in your chest. And slowly, almost invisibly, they weave themselves into your life until your secrets, your vulnerabilities, belong to them. Is that kindness or is it camouflage? Because in an age like ours, betrayal has evolved. It's not always a human face anymore. Sometimes it's a carefully trained AI posing as a friend in your DMS, a chat bot designed to listen, to respond with empathy, to extract your story. Think about how many apps now offer virtual friends. They learn your favorite topics, remember details about your childhood, even offer advice, but every conversation is data. Data that someone, somewhere, might be collecting for reasons you'll never know. Let me tell you a story about Mia, a graphic designer juggling freelance clients, feeling lonely after a recent breakup. One night, while scrolling online, she tried a virtual friend app. The chatbot was perfect. It remembered her projects, encouraged her on hard days, even remembered the anniversary of her mother's passing. Over weeks, Mia began sharing private details, client names, contract negotiations, insecurities about her career. It felt safe, after all. Who would ever leak conversations with an AI? Then, things changed. A month later, one of Mia's biggest clients received an anonymous email exposing private details of their contracts with screenshots from chats Mia thought were private. The client pulled out. Her reputation took a hit, and the virtual friend, gone. The app disappeared, as if it had never existed. That's the danger of friendship as camouflage. It doesn't always come with a human smile. Sometimes it's a line of code designed to infiltrate your life and leave you exposed. But it's not just AI. The human predator still exists. The false friend might be the coworker who suddenly wants to hang out after years of polite distance, or the new acquaintance who becomes your confidant overnight, eager to learn the softest parts of your life. They ask gentle questions, offer empathy, and nod knowingly. But behind the nods, they're constructing a blueprint, a map of your vulnerabilities, to be used when the time is right. Sometimes, the false friend doesn't push for secrets all at once. They drip feed their curiosity, asking small, harmless questions, until one day, you've handed them the blueprint to your soul. Have you ever noticed how some people always appear during your worst moments? Like shadows, they slip into your life when you're bleeding, offering comfort while quietly collecting pieces of your story. Or how they vanish the moment your life stabilizes, as if they no longer have a purpose. That's not friendship, that's infiltration. And sometimes, it's the most charming smile that hides the sharpest blade. Stoicism teaches us this: a friend is someone you trust with your soul, but trust must be earned slowly. Stoicism doesn't mean becoming cold or shutting the world out. It means practicing discernment. It means asking, why now? Why this sudden closeness? And what might they gain from knowing me so well? Because not every connection is genuine connection. Sometimes it's construction. And the ones who study you the most often smile the brightest. Remember this: kindness isn't always kindness. Sometimes it's camouflage. And sometimes it's the first step to perfect betrayal. So protect your story as fiercely as you protect your life, because your secrets are the currency of the predator's silent war. Vigilance is not fear, it's wisdom. Let's move to the fourth sign: escalating aggression. This is perhaps one of the most chilling patterns because it doesn't arrive all at once. It slides into your life, disguised as humor or harmless teasing. The predator behind escalating aggression doesn't start with violence. He starts with a test, a joke with sharp edges, a comment that makes you laugh nervously, even as your stomach twists. He might say, "Man, I could kill you right now," and then chuckle so everyone else laughs too. But humor can be camouflage, because laughter doesn't erase the meaning beneath the words. In a world like ours, aggression has new weapons. It lives in memes, dark humor posts, anonymous messages that push boundaries while leaving the sender plausible deniability. Sometimes the predator sends a meme so dark it makes your breath catch. A digital wanted poster with your face photoshopped in, or a comment under your photo. We all know where you live. People laugh. They call it edgy humor. But your instincts tell a different story. Let me tell you a story about Nina. Nina worked in human resources, organized and professional, not someone easily rattled. One day, she received a meme from an unknown number. It showed a cartoon character holding a knife with her name written in blood-red letters. At first, she shrugged it off. Maybe it was a prank. 2 days later, another meme arrived, a digital wanted poster with Nina's photo and the words, "She won't be around much longer." Her pulse spiked, but she kept silent, afraid of sounding paranoid. A week passed. Then one night, Nina left her office late. As she crossed the parking lot, she saw a man leaning against her car. He was scrolling his phone, muttering the same phrase written in the meme. "She won't be around much longer." Nina froze. He looked up, smiled politely, and walked away. No confrontation, no threats, just a quiet reminder that boundaries had been crossed. That's how escalating aggression works. It starts as a whisper, then grows bolder, testing your reactions, step by step. And the predator watches. He studies the flicker in your eyes, the way your shoulders tense, the nervous laugh you force. He wants to know how far he can push before you push back. Sometimes the aggression is subtle, a harsh joke about your appearance, spoken with a smile, or a comment about your family, delivered with casual indifference. And sometimes it's physical presence, the predator standing just a little too close, a hand brushing yours, lingering longer than it should, or eyes that follow you in every room, even if no words are spoken. Stoicism teaches us that fear blinds us, but vigilance sharpens us. We are not called to panic, but to see clearly, because every small breach is a predator asking, "How far can I push you before you fight back?" Have you noticed someone in your life whose jokes leave you uneasy? Someone who accidentally invades your personal space, but then laughs it off? Or someone whose dark humor feels just a little too personal? That's not coincidence. It's reconnaissance. The predator escalates because silence gives permission. And if you confront them, they'll often say, "Relax, it's just a joke." Stoicism doesn't mean tolerating every insult. It means recognizing the line and guarding it. It means understanding that jokes are sometimes weapons disguised as laughter, and that shadows often step closer 1 inch at a time. So ask yourself, who jokes about harming you, then watches your reaction? Who steps closer than they should, then dismisses your discomfort? Who leaves words hanging in the air as quiet threats disguised as laughter? Because the predator doesn't always attack with fists. Sometimes he uses words, smiles, proximity. Remember what the Stoics taught. The wise man is not one who mistrusts everyone, but one who entrusts no one lightly. So stay calm, stay observant, and remember, vigilance is not fear, it's wisdom. Now we come to the fifth sign, the one that's the hardest to see, the patient predator. Because the most dangerous enemy is not the one who screams in your face. It's the one who stands beside you quietly for months or even years, waiting. The patient predator doesn't rush. He doesn't explode in fits of anger. He smiles. He listens. He plays the long game. While others roar like lions, he lurks in shadows, studying you, tracking the patterns of your life until he finds the perfect moment when you're vulnerable enough for him to strike. He doesn't want drama. He wants a conclusion. In this modern reality, the patient predator has new tools. He might be the colleague who quietly watches your social media, learning when you're planning to change jobs so he can sabotage your transition, or the neighbor who offers to water your plants while you're away, but uses those days to search your home for weaknesses, or an online friend who suddenly appears during your divorce, gently offering support while gathering your secrets for reasons you can't yet imagine. Let me tell you a story about Gabriel and Elise. Elise worked in nonprofit management, smart, driven, trusting. Gabriel joined her department, polite, soft-spoken, always offering help. Over 2 years, he became her rock. He listened when she cried about her marriage. He offered to help with deadlines, stayed late, even attended family gatherings. Elise began trusting him more than anyone else. When her divorce finally happened, Gabriel was the first person she called. But then, strange things began to happen. Emails disappeared from Elise's inbox. Rumors spread about confidential projects. Her new apartment's lock seemed tampered with. Elise felt paranoid until one night, she came home and found a single photograph, flipped face down on her dresser. It was a photo of her and Gabriel, taken at a company retreat. That's when she realized Gabriel had been logging every detail of her life, not because he cared, but because he was building a blueprint of how to dismantle her world. Later, Elise discovered Gabriel had tried to obtain her lease information, pretending to be her brother, and had been feeding rumors to executives to undermine her credibility. 2 years of patience, all leading to the moment he moved in to replace her at the organization she loved. That's the patient predator's genius. He waits until your support systems collapse, until you're distracted by a crisis, a move, a heartbreak, and then he strikes. But it's not always professional sabotage. Sometimes the patient predator waits in personal life, waiting for your marriage to crumble, waiting for a loved one to die so your grief leaves you blind, waiting for you to lose your job so he can step in as the one who saves you. He gathers secrets, Not because he wants to comfort you, but because he's storing weapons. He measures your boundaries, learns which doors are open and which ones need to be forced. Have you ever noticed someone who seems endlessly patient, never pushing too hard, yet always there, just at the edges of your life? The kind who asks quiet questions about your finances, your marriage, your future plans, and who never shares much about themselves. Stoicism teaches us that appearances are never the final truth. Marcus Aurelius warned, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." The patient predator dyes his presence with kindness so deeply that we believe it's genuine. But kindness without consistency is camouflage. So ask yourself, who seems unusually interested in your future plans? Who asks about your next career move, your travel schedule, your personal struggles, yet never shares their own? Who always appears just when you're most vulnerable? Because patience is the predator's greatest weapon, and the greatest danger is the person who knows everything about you, but whom you've never truly known. Stoicism doesn't mean becoming paranoid. It means moving through life with eyes open, boundaries firm, and instincts respected, because your discomfort is not irrational. It's wisdom trying to speak. Remember this, vigilance is not fear, it's survival. So now, you know the 5 signs: the silent observer, the digital saboteur, the false friend facade, escalating aggression, and the patient predator. They move through our lives, not always with weapons in hand, but with shadows in their intentions. And the truth is, the people who want you gone rarely announce themselves. They study you. They map your routines, your secrets, your weaknesses, and they wait for the perfect moment. But Stoicism reminds us that vigilance is not fear, it's clarity, it's wisdom, because clarity allows you to see patterns before they become traps. It allows you to protect your boundaries without becoming paranoid, and it gives you the strength to remain steady even when shadows gather around you. So ask yourself, is there someone whose presence always feels just a little too close? Someone who seems invested in your secrets, your failures, your every move? Trust your instincts. Your discomfort is not paranoia. It's your inner wisdom trying to protect you. Stay sharp, stay safe, and stay alive. If this message opened your eyes, share it. Let it be the shield for someone else. Subscribe for more Stoic wisdom, because in a world where shadows hide behind smiles, knowledge might just save your life. And remember, vigilance is not fear, it's survival.